Okay, which of these is the most dangerous? Which is the least dangerous? Yeah, microwave. I'm ordering them from least, so I would call number 1 least dangerous. Sure, can't do anything to you. Next. Yeah, it's probably a toss-up, but that's fine. Next, least. Or what? Yeah. So why is the uranium the worst one? Yeah, once that gets inside of you, then alpha particles can be bouncing around inside of you, and they'll cause the most damage. The gamma rays are the highest energy light, but they can only affect one bond, and that's it. They can come in and hit one thing, and then their energy is used up. And the alpha particle can just smash like a bowl in a china shop kind of situation. All right, so given 750 grams, you wait 3 hours. How long is this going to take? Okay, so one thing you're going to want to do is swap this to like 180 minutes, because the units are going to need to be the same. And the equation for this is N, and it's NO times E negative time divided by the half-life times the natural log of 2. Is that right? Or is it negative half-life? Let me think about that for a second. No, it's time. But those are backwards. Isn't the natural log of 2 on the bottom?
So that's right.
I had it right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I've got 750 grams times E minus 180 minutes times the natural log of 2 divided by 27 minutes. So the units cancel out. And what do we got here? Seven 7.4 grams. Did you get something like that? Okay. How could you kind of sort of verify this?
You do like the 750 half-life.
Yeah, you just cut it in half again and again and again until you reached 180, adding 27 minutes each time. A little table thing. Nuclear decay series.
From unstable isotope to stable one.
Okay. Through instead of it just being like a one-step process, it's like a whole bunch of steps, right? So what's the purpose of using a nuclear reaction to generate electricity. And really, what is a nuclear reactor?
Giant water boiler.
It's a giant water boiler. We use use steam to turn a turbine that is coupled to a generator. The nuclear reaction heats the water. That's it. Just boiling water here. How does the fusion and fission, how do those two things differ from each other?
Fission is when things are breaking apart, and fusion is when they're being forced together.
So this one is a big isotope.
Wait, isn't it the other way, or is it that right?
Oh no, I totally messed that up. I'll bet. Thanks. Get rid of that line. Isotope. Anything else about them?
Fusion only happens like on the sun,
Why?
because it generates huge amounts of energy.
Yeah, this is too much energy for us. And this is and then enough for us to handle. Why would it be difficult for a leak to reach the river if I'm talking about a nuclear power plant?
There's like 4 things that have to break at once,
And then it's shut down.
and it has to keep running, right?
What's that? What do you want to call that design? Does that sound good? System isolation.
Yeah.
So what I've done is I've isolated the nuclear power plant into different systems, and each of those systems has no physical contact with the next system. So exactly what you said, for this to reach the river, I'd have to have 5 or 6 system failures, and I'd have to keep running the reactor to get it to work. Or all the failures would have to happen at the same time, which is what happened at Fukushima, and I'd have to be like next to the ocean, which is where Fukushima was. So all around bad design based off of really, the only problem with Fukushima was its proximity to the water. Literally, if they would have not been lazy and bumped that thing back 500 yards, we wouldn't be talking about this. We were talking about a terrible earthquake that some fishermen and some coastal people died, and some houses disappeared, and a school vanished, kind of stuff. But we wouldn't be talking about nuclear power. What we'd be talking about is radioactive waste going to show up on the shores of the Oregon coast, kind of stuff. What's coming out of the top of that cooling tower? Cloud. Yeah, I like that. It's a cloud. It's water vapor. Did you figure out this last one?
Yes, but I don't know what
Safety control rod axle.
D control rod axe man. Yep. This is the acronym that we would use when we wanted to turn the reactor off. We ran drills constantly. Like 5 days a week, people would come down, different watches, and they would do things like you just walk around a corner in an engine room and somebody be sitting there with a bed sheet doing this. And it was supposed to symbolize that there was steam coming out of a pipe somewhere. Silly stuff like that. And depending on what the situation was, sometimes we'd have to turn the reactor off immediately. And that scram was for the guy who had access to it to flip that switch and those control rods that were backed up against those springs to get shot down into the core. So that term is still around for us to turn the reactor off fast. You do not do that if you just want to turn the reactor off. If I'm turning the reactor off under normal conditions, I just release the solenoids and just allow them to go down in slowly. But if I'm going to scram the reactor, I'm going to do that, call that because of what's going on? Why isn't it fun? What? It's not in here? No, not icons. I want. How come I can only get icons? There we go. So this is a pencil sketch of the first sustained nuclear reaction. This happened in the basement of a building at the University of Chicago. And what we have here, there are some people hanging out right here. And these are bricks of lead and concrete. Why would we want lead and concrete?
To contain it.
No, not to contain it. Well, maybe. To contain what?
The radiation.
Yeah, so the lead is blocking the cosmic or the gamma rays that are coming out of this, and the concrete is blocking the neutrons that are coming out of this. So inside the middle of this, there's a large container, and it's got uranium in it, and there's a single control rod attached to it. And so they're going to pull the control rod out and allow the reaction to heat. And then if anything bad happens, they're supposed to drop the control rod back in. So there's no spring associated with this. You can, if you look carefully, there's like a rope here. Do we see this? And this rope comes down to this railing right here, and it's tied to the railing. And there's a guy standing there with what? An axe. And if anything bad happens, he's supposed to cut the axe, and then the control rod's supposed to fall in and turn the reaction off. So that's where the scram thing comes from. The people that are up in the gallery, at least 3 of them have elements named after them. Enrique Fermi and Les Mittner, Glenn Seaborg, maybe a couple other people, probably Laurentium. Yeah, so this is where it came from. It's just sort of historical context that we kept that name scram.